Have you ever watched your peers succeed and felt an overwhelming sense of regret and disappointment? Imagine watching your peers advance their careers, taking on roles you know you could have excelled in, but you held back. Maybe advancing because they expressed innovative ideas that you already had before them, but you were too afraid to share them. As serious and substantial as the cost of lost income due to imposter syndrome can be, the emotional toll can be profoundly impactful. For several years, we lived in a large 55 plus community in Florida, a retirement community. We were there while my wife was employed in a hospital in the community. Over time, I came to realize how frequently conversations with neighbors and in social settings turned to expressing regrets about missed opportunities and disappointments, about not taking the risk at younger years that others took that paid off financially for them. Frankly, it was a toxic communication system and it fed their depression. It was sad to see it in so many retirees living in what some would have considered paradise. But you don't have to be a senior adult to experience the regrets and disappointments resulting from your imposter syndrome. Just imagine this. You're scrolling through social media or attending a company meeting and you see a colleague receiving praise for their accomplishments. While you may feel happy for them, there can be an undercurrent of envy that you just can't shake, an envy that can strain relationships and create self-criticism and inner turmoil for yourself. Then there's the increased self-doubt. Watching others succeed can reinforce those nagging, negative self-perceptions, deepening the feeling of being an imposter. You start questioning your abilities and wonder if you even belong in your profession or your social circles. But perhaps one of the most painful aspects is regret and disappointment, missed opportunities, and the persistent what-if scenarios that rehearse over and over in your thoughts. That disappointment in yourself for not living up to your own potential. You know you're capable of more, but imposter syndrome keeps you tethered to your comfort zone. This disappointment can seep into every aspect of your work and life, making even your accomplishments feel hollow. Regret can be all-consuming, making it difficult to focus on the present or plan for the future. Alongside regret, there's the shame and embarrassment, feeling inadequate that can lead to a deep sense of shame about your perceived lack of progress and worth. This shame can make it incredibly difficult to celebrate even your smallest accomplishments. You can feel embarrassed about your perceived lack of progress, even if objectively you're doing very well. This shame can be paralyzing, preventing you from taking risks or putting yourself out there for more opportunities. It's a vicious cycle. The more you hold back, the more you reinforce your feelings of inadequacy. Anxiety and stress are also common companions of imposter syndrome. The constant worry about falling behind or being left behind can increase your overall anxiety, affecting both your personal and your professional life. Going to work every day feeling like you're walking on a tightrope. This chronic stress can lead to physical symptoms, headaches, digestive issues, sleep problems. Your body is literally carrying the weight of your imposter syndrome. Over time, these chronic feelings of inadequacy and missed opportunities can lead to an increased risk of depression. This isn't just about having a bad day. It's about a persistent feeling of sadness and hopelessness. And then there's the lowered self-esteem. Repeatedly seeing others advance while you feel stuck can erode your self-confidence. This can be a vicious cycle, making it harder to take the necessary steps to advance your own career. Frustration and anger might also surface, sometimes directed at yourself, sometimes at the system, or sometimes even unfairly at your successful colleagues. These emotions can be difficult to manage and can further isolate you from networking with friends around you. Withdrawing from social interactions with successful peers can lead to feelings of loneliness, This self-imposed isolation can make it even harder to break free from the cycle of the imposter syndrome. And finally, there's the lack of motivation. Paradoxically, over time, seeing others succeed might decrease your motivation if it reinforces your beliefs about your personal inadequacy. You might feel like giving up before you've even tried. The emotional costs of imposter syndrome are significant and can impact every aspect of your life. Recognizing these emotional costs is the first step in understanding just how serious it can be. What is important to know is that you do not need to continue to be trapped in your imposter syndrome. Too many of us try to tackle various individual symptoms of our imposter syndrome, including procrastination, perfectionism, fear of failure, self-doubt, and others. And we do it in a whack-a-mole approach, leaves the unconscious root cause of the imposter syndrome intact. You can overcome the unconscious root cause rather than just use a whack-a-mole attempt to conquer the symptoms. You're not helpless. And you're not hopeless. You can overcome your imposter syndrome and discover confidence and clarity to create the life you want.